John Wayne lied to you.
Wow. Welcome to John Wayne Lied to You, the podcast featuring me, non-extreme horror writer John Wayne. That's right, here I am in the Neon Palace of Sin in fabulous downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you for joining me again for another episode. Happy to have you here. Welcome everybody. So, of course, before we get started, I have a nice heaping, piping cup of black coffee like my soul. Ooh, look, this is in my Rock and Roll Hall of Fame mug. You can see that. Got that many years going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you're watching the video feed, which, is new, we're still getting it rolling. So thank you for the people who've been watching it at the John Wayne Lied to You YouTube channel. You can see these things like my mug that I just showed you. But, that's good. That's good. I needed that, for real. But here's something I really wanted you to see. So this is a special treat for everyone that is, doing the video feed. And this is a reason why you should do the video feed. What I'm about to show you, I've just moved into the shot. Our receptacle for our grandpappy's medicine today. Of course, every week we gotta get right in the head with some grandpappy's medicine. Oh, that's right, a good bowl of that good green. And this fine day, I am celebrating smoking out of this awesome, magnificent Freddy Krueger bong. I am showing it to the camera. Check it the hell out. It is awesome. If you want to see more of it, if you're listening, you can't watch the YouTube. I did do a whole little reel on it on my Instagram at John Wayne is Dead. I actually filmed the inaugural smoke with it, and it was awesome. This was a gift to me, and I very much appreciate it. This thing is just fucking rad as hell. You can see like the glass, the bong part is inside. This is like a plastic resin body. The Freddy looks fucking rad. Here's your little thing up here. And it's just fucking cool as hell. I love shit like this. We just were like walking into, we were going to the Charleston. Check it out if you're in downtown Las Vegas. Charleston, say what's up to Cassie. And, Ava has one. She had to go to get a smoking device, a vape. And we just like walked into this random, smoke shop that we passed by all the time, never been in. And they had these fucking bongs. They had, the Freddy one, they had Michael Myers, they had Leatherface, they had Baby Yoda or whatever, and they have Chucky as well. They were sold out of Chucky at the time, so then this was given to me as a gift, and because I liked it so much. This is so fucking cool. I mean, look at the eyes on that thing. Like those aren't just like, there's the fucking eyes they put in there. It's fucking cool. So anyway, aside from that, what we are smoking today, which I did of course pick up at my home local dispensary. That's right, local Oasis, right here in downtown Las Vegas, over on Industrial. Today we are smoking a brand called La Vie, and I've never had this before. But the strain right here is, let's see, what is this one? Panda Kush. Panda Kush. And this is sitting at a nice 26% THC. So that's nice and good. So let's join me. If those of you at home who have your own receptacle and want to join, hey, let's hit the Freddy bong. Freddy style. Aha, bitch. Oh man, wow. This is a fucking excellent piece. I've been having, I get a great deal of enjoyment out of this since I've had it for the last few days. Next thing on the agenda with this is to pick up some red food coloring so that I can turn the water in the actual bong in his belly here red, so that'll be all blood and shit. So fucking stoked on this. It's gonna be sitting here joining me. Oh, let's just get another one while we're here. Yep. That's the stuff dreams are made of. Or nightmares. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, now that we're all set, I want to thank everyone again for checking out the video stream. This is something new I've been doing, experimenting with, having a lot of fun doing it, and learning a lot along the way about just how to do it better, and then just have different techniques, and I love to do that kind of stuff. So please check out the video feed if you can. If not, hey, I appreciate you just listening anyway. So thank you guys. So much. I want to give a special shout out to my Patreon subscribers. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of my Patreon. It helps me tremendously, especially with going to conventions and getting inventory and, emergency car stuff, all that kind of stuff. Trust me, it helps go to supporting my art and keeping me out there doing it. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon before, please do check it out. Go to patreon.com/johnwayneisdead, or you can just go to johnwayneisdead.com and hit the Patreon link. It takes you right there. And it has several tiers you can join that give you different stuff, but every single person who subscribes to my Patreon gets access to what's on the wall, which is I put videos up there of like John Wayne is Dead rehearsals, sometimes new songs, acoustic performances, readings, performances that I do when I'm out of town. I put all kinds of goodies up there and sneak peeks at things, all that kind of stuff. But every week you also get an episode of the Awesome Dude for Life Boner Bonus podcast. And that is the show in which I talk to other artists of all kinds from around this great world of ours. And we have a nice conversation about their art, their process, their lives, just whatever. A lot of times we talk about music quite a bit. And it's a great show. I love doing it. I hope that the people out there who do listen to it enjoy it. And I think you would enjoy it too. And you should check out my Patreon, please. Patreon.com/johnwayneisdead. So anyway, also, while I'm talking about that, talking about the video, the Awesome Dude for Life podcast is on video as well. It's audio and video from the Patreon feed, just so you know. And another video thing I've been kind of getting into the foray of is this little kind of, I guess, mini show that I started called Shit in John Wayne's Room. It is, I've talked about it before a few episodes ago, but there's the sixth episode just came out every week for 6 weeks. I've been talking about some of my guitars so far. That's the last, or maybe there might be one or two more guitar ones, but I'm gonna mix it up now. I'm gonna, the next episode that'll come out on Monday, next Monday will be something completely different. That's something in my room from Shit in John Wayne's Room, something in my office studio here that I am going to talk about, and I can't wait to tell you about it. So please check that out. That's on the John Wayne is Dead YouTube channel. The John Wayne Lied to You YouTube channel is just for the podcast and nothing else. So I don't want there to be any confusion, just so you know. So it's just, John Wayne is Dead, all one word. John Wayne Lied to You, all one word. Hey, it's pretty easy. Also, you know what? I put all of these videos that I'm telling you guys about on my website at johnwayneisdead.com. You could go to like the tab that says John Wayne's Room. Boom. All the John Wayne's Room videos are right there for you to watch. Also, podcast, hit that link. Bam. All the videos are up there for you to watch as well, embedded in. You can just go to the website if you don't want to fuck with YouTube or something. It's all right there. I make it so easy because I want you guys to check it out and hopefully enjoy this new phase and new stuff we're doing here. So check that out, please. So another thing I want to talk about just on the promotion tip, and then we'll move on some, is Puss and Goose. My OnlyFans is live. People, we've got, a good handful of people in there right now. Thank you guys for checking it out. It is very fun. It's a little sexy. It is an OnlyFans. So it's basically, there's some smut erotica that is being read and performed, like performance art reading, plus some paintings that are also being done to the reading. So you get, a couple of different shots going on that are cut between, plus there are a few surprises as well. So check it out. Puss and Goose, PUSSNGOOSE on OnlyFans. That's for your little after hours enjoyment there. Okay, so thank you guys. Whoa, shit, I just hit the mic. That's gonna be a crazy noise. I'll see if I can take it out, but if not, fuck it. anyway, thank you guys for supporting me any way, which way but loose. But if you are so inclined, give that OnlyFans a look. It's myself and my good friend Dana Graham, Miss Dana Marie King, aka Octo Burrows, excellent artist, tattoo artist, and performer. So we have a lot of fun doing it, and we hope you check it out and have fun enjoying it as well. So anyway, moving right along. So guys, like I said, you can always email the show now, johnwayneliedtoyou, all one word, at gmail.com. Please, any comments, questions, suggestions. We're taking all comers. That means email comers. So don't send me your comers in the email or your cummies. No, it's there for, listeners of the show to reach out for anything that you want to ask or talk about. Please do. Please reach out to me. It's always fun to have interaction, and it's always welcome. So check it out, johnwayneliedtoyou at gmail.com. Shoot me a message. Hey, we'll talk, coffee, whatever. Or if you have a question for Mom's movie line, Mom's movie corner, I'm sorry, you can talk to her, and I'll make sure she gets the message. So anyway, this week, wow, it's been a week, again, of just life, everything going on, lots of stuff happening, but good things have been happening as well. And one of them was, check this out. I'm gonna have some coffee here. One of the awesome things I got to enjoy this past week was Scarlett and I went to see Hellraiser, the original Hellraiser, 4K, a 4K transfer of it in the movie theater. This was, man, I wish I even knew what this was for. I don't know if it was for the anniversary or of the book, the Hellbound Heart, or the movie or something. I don't even know why, but if it wasn't for Scarlett, I wouldn't know anything. So and that includes just fucking probably any knowledge that I have. But she found this and shot it to me. It was only showing for 2 days in the United States here, across this great land of ours, in different, I don't know if in every state. It was just limited release, limited run, 2 days. And it was a delight to see. It was really an awesome treat. And again, maybe I said this before, but, going to the movies and getting to go recently, especially for a few things, I just enjoy going to the movies, going to the movie theater. It's just, I don't know if it's something about, when I was younger as a kid, that's the only way you could watch movies. We didn't have streaming. We have DVDs, or, you have these VHSs, and then you got to wait 8 months after a movie's in the theater before, they'll whisper about a VHS, and things just didn't come out so quick. So I don't know if there's got to be a connection there where, just nostalgia and love for the movies and stuff, seeing them in the theater, but there's just something about it. I don't know, being there with other people, watching it in a group settings, getting to enjoy it with people, especially special engagements like this Hellraiser one. Shouts out to Matt, if you're listening. Good to see you there, buddy. Happened to be in our row at the Hellraiser. Enjoyed it as well. Good to see you, man. So it was fucking fantastic. Top to bottom, T to B. It was badass. We got in there. We went and saw it at, I forget which theater we were at, but it was, I said they're all in casinos or whatever. I forget which one we went to for this, but it was great. Got a beer, popcorn, and no, we didn't have popcorn because we just ate, but it was, who fucking cares? Beers. It was great. It looked beautiful. I mean, I don't know if there's got to be a 4K of Hellraiser already, or maybe this is the release of it. I'm very well informed here. I'm sure you're screaming at your fucking podcast machines. You fucking douchebag! I know, I am. But it was, if you got to see this, I know some of you did, because I saw people post about it in Texas and other states and stuff like that. It was fucking sweet. It was badass. I love that movie. If you haven't seen the first Hellraiser, it's so fucking awesome. They had a budget of only $1 million, and they famously ran out of money towards the end of the film, and so things had to be shuffled around. That's why there's a lot of things kind of unexplained. It's not a perfect movie, and the ending is really bizarre, but they don't worry, because they totally redeemed themselves with Hellraiser 2, And then after that, I like Hellraiser 3, famously panned and hated version, and then it just goes off the rails and it's just silly. But you could still enjoy them. But this was an awesome, awesome experience. I don't know if anybody out there that did go to this, hey, shoot us an email at johnwayneliedtoyou at gmail.com. How was it where you guys were? How's the weather out there? No, it was awesome. And I know that, there's something else I was going to talk about, but Mom, she already was, she's going to talk about another movie going experience that we had recently. We brought her along with us. She's going to talk about that later on in the show. But love Hellraiser, love it. I've got here in the studio, my carpet is of the Lament configuration. I had Pinhead socks on that night. I have all my Pinhead toys I was fucking with. It was really rad. Hellraiser is one of my favorites, one of my favorite franchises, and of course Clive Barker, horror genius. Very, very well respected and renowned writer, and just amazing. Really cool to see those things. I didn't get to see that in the theater when I was, kid when it came out. I was probably too fucking scared to see something like that. But see it in theater and all restored, and especially like the restoration looks really, really good, because not all transfers to 4K look good. Sometimes it's user error, I guess, or operator error. Sometimes it's just that's the best they can do with the film is so bad and degraded and dark and all that kind of stuff. But man, this looked fucking awesome, and it was great. So other than that, I did finish a very, very cool, very fun narration job for my good friend and friend of the show, friend of the pod, been on the pod before, RJ Benetti, aka Jamie if you're nasty. I narrated a book of his. I'm pretty sure he announced it, but I'll just, if you want to check it out, it's RJ Benetti horror, and he's on his game with this one, guys. It's funny, it's well done, it's silly at times, but it's a lot of fun. And you should check out his books anyway. But I had a blast narrating this book. And as it comes out, when it comes out, I will make sure that I tell you all about it. Speaking of things coming out, I have a new book coming out. I don't know why I'm being so cagey about it, but it comes out March 8th. It's called Game Face. It's coming out through Avant Pop Books Publishing and a joint release, also with Awesome Dude for Life Press, my own imprint. Game Face, I also finished. I bring it up because I finished the cover art this week, and it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. I had to go through a lot of back and forth with myself. There's some elements I was just not happy with, and I wasn't getting them right. But once I did, man, it was cool. And if you're on the Patreon, you will be getting a glimpse of this special early glimpse of this very, very soon. So if you want to check out what the art looks like and more stuff, hey, check out the Patreon. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, guys, I was talking about the Awesome Dude for Life Boner Bonus podcast earlier, where I talk to other artists and, other writers about, what they do, their process, their lives. And this is the part of the show where I like to, give you a little taste of what's going on over there on Patreon this week. So I'm going to play you a little clip here of conversation I had with author and writer Damon Manx, who I just met recently, maybe about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, briefly, and then I got to spend some more time with him over when we were in Oaks, Pennsylvania at Monster Mania, year before last, and he's a great guy. His TikTok is awesome. You should check that out. And we had a great conversation. And so I'm going to play a little bit of it for you right here. Here you go. This is myself and horror writer Damon Manx. Tell us, tell the people and everybody, how did you get involved in writing? Where did that start? How long you been doing? Let's get the nuts and bolts out of the way so we can, how's Ian's doing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, the long and the short of it, let's see. As a kid, we all have these dreams. Well, those of us who write usually have a dream of doing so when we're really young. So I had gone to see a couple movies as a kid, one being Jaws, the other being Star Wars. And right after seeing them, I said, these movies need a sequel. So I went home after seeing them and I wrote sequels to both of the movies prior to any Jaws 2 or Empire Strikes Back. ever coming out. And, they were the writings of a very young boy that were, very terrible. Although, maybe my rendition of Jaws 2 was on par with Jaws 3 as it came out eventually, but it wasn't, it was kind of terrible. Like,
That one gets so much hate. Come on, it's at SeaWorld.
I know. I mean,
no, but it's pretty bad.
I think the 3D is what really put it over the edge. So that's where I started writing.
Sure, that's what you want to say. There's many things that put that over the edge.
I'm looking for excuses here.
No, it's all good.
On the 3D.
You should if you still have those, you should see if you could option them. Maybe they'll reboot Jaws with you're through the wonder of a child's eyes.
It's they definitely could do worse. That's for sure.
Damn right. When I was a kid, I was so stupid. I would write letters to Teen Wolf instead, not to Santa Claus or whatever. I loved Teen Wolf so much, and I just wrote letters I'm waiting. Hopefully, I could be a Teen Wolf one day too. Maybe my powers will. I'm so stupid. Even now, I'm that stupid. You can see where it came from. But anyway, yeah, I would say so those two movies, going back to it, they inspired you to write, right? Like that. That's kind of what you're saying, or they put it into you. They gave you the push, or this needs to happen. Like you were saying, and that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, initially. I mean, but as I got older and my needs kind of matured a bit,
ooh la la,
I wasn't going to get checks by writing sequels to Star Wars and Jaws.
No, you weren't.
The guitar, so
yeah,
music. So suddenly I realized the magic elixir was to have this guitar in my hand, whether I could play it or not, and I started writing songs.
Don't give away all our secrets, dude. I mean, I guess this is behind the paywall, so that's fine. They can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As long as you put this on the Patreon page, then then they're paying for it. But so music took over, which has always been my main passion. All of our passion. I think it's the single unifier among our species is music. Nothing draws people together.
Yeah, people who say they don't listen to music are weird, or I don't know, something's not right. Yeah. You can be I'm not necessarily a fan of any particular band or anything, but I love to listen to this. But there's some people who are I just don't listen to it. What do you listen to? What do you do? They probably hate dogs too and stuff. I don't know. Who knows these people?
Yeah, no, I would be hesitant to trust somebody who just has a firm I don't listen to music policy.
Yeah, fuck them. I was going to say the movie thing. So we have a kind of similar track because I always wrote stories as a kid. People listen to, they know my story already. But I was always writing stupid stories and stuff. But two movies that I saw that I remember as a kid that I guess captured my imagination in maybe the same way or a similar way were Gremlins and Beetlejuice. I saw those movies in the theater. My dad took me to them and I was like, whoa, it kind of breaks your brain a little bit, or in the right way, I think. So
iconic movies. And Gremlins. Wow. Okay. That was a really impactful movie to me as well. I don't know if you're a fan of the sequel, but Gremlins 2.
Love Gremlins 2.
Has some really stellar treasured moments in there that just it's the one sequel that actually makes fun of the first movie in ways. It was
they make jabs back at the first, the speeches and stuff that they're making, I love it, that clamp cable network or whatever building. It's so cool.
The whatever her father had died in the chimney. And then it was the track, that's why I hate Christmas. And then it was in the next movie, well, I hate Valentine's Day. Yeah. Just so clever.
But that first one was truly frightening to me as a child. Yeah. There's monsters, I didn't know it was supposed to be like anything else. I was like, this is fucking scary, But I loved it. I was still drawn to it. It didn't scare me like other shit like Freddy Krueger scared me when that came out. That was different.
Yeah, that was pretty gripping. I can recall seeing the very first Freddy movie. I guess it was on HBO or something that I caught it. And Yeah, that was a whole new thing. Inside Your Dreams, like that first Freddy movie, he didn't have that kitschy "I'm a funny guy" thing to him. He was scary as hell.
Oh, dude, I saw like the started watching it at my friend's house. So I think we were in second grade after school, and I was like, we got like halfway through when he's like coming down the hall, like the alley, like with the claws and his arms are all long. I was like, I think I have to go home. Like, and then I just didn't sleep for a month. I was making tapes, like taking like cassette tapes and taping like the Golden Girls and like shit so I could fall asleep to listening to see, I told you, here I am listening to my Golden Girls tapes, writing my letters to Teen Wolf. I think I'm having like a lot of breakthroughs just in this discussion.
Yes, I don't charge for the session either. So
But so when you picked up the guitar, you know, I don't know too much about your music background. Did you start like, because I was like, I'm gonna be a rock star now, like fuck everything else, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should start writing too. Like after that, um, did you play in a band? Were you touring? What was the deal
yeah,
with that?
so I've been in multiple bands.
Hit me, dude. This is the stuff I want to
And
know.
so I go back to, I'm gonna date myself, but my first band was like a hair metal band in the '80s with a female fronted singer.
Uh-huh.
So
What was
yeah,
it called?
it was December, but it was D apostrophe Sember.
Are we
That was
talking like Decline of Western Civilization type era bands?
yeah, I guess so. In a way, it may be a cross. Hard to
Yeah.
say. Hard to say. Hard to pinpoint the style. There was a band called Soraya
Are
at
you
the
are y'all
time.
in this book? I read it, but I don't remember.
Nothing but a good
It's
time.
a
We are
huge, like, I love
not.
these kind
That's
of
huge.
books. That's like the history, like oral histories of stuff. I was just listening
Yeah.
to one when I was driving earlier, but I dig that kind of stuff. So you were playing guitar in this metal
Yeah. So I
December
was
band?
playing bass in this
Oh,
band,
bass.
writing our own tunes, first foray at doing that. So it was a five-piece band, 80s hair, like we had hair,
Hell yeah.
It was crazy. And we did that up until about 89 for the fall of the era, at which turn I went into kind of a dark, somewhat grungy band, kind of, I don't know, a Doorsy style grungy band. It was like the Doors meets grunge, Doors meets Soundgarden style band.
Oh, okay.
So I
That's
did
like a band
that.
that I like and a band that I don't like.
Yeah, so I did that for a little while. I say Doors because the
What
singer was kind of like dark and brooding,
what
and
did you guys like? So you played bass in that band as well? Did
yeah,
they?
yeah.
So did they
Well,
have a keyboard too, like Doors, or just the
no, it was
singer
just
reminded you?
bass, guitar, drums, and vocals. So that was a little more stripped down.
Right on.
Um, yeah, and then in the 2000s, I kind of did a solo thing, which was just kind of folky thing, acoustic guitar. Put an album out with a few of my friends, and I toured around doing a little bit of that, playing in like Texas. It had like a folky, beachy, almost country vibe to it. So it was like a real crossover. So I've done the musical gamut depending on where my head was at, what I was into. So, and oddly enough, that the solo one was probably the thing that was the most popular out of any of them. So
What was that? What was that one called? Was it just your name or?
well, that was my non-pen name, which we won't get into. But
Okay.
yeah, we and I this was during the golden age of MySpace, and I put
What a time.
my album out on MySpace. I had one of the top downloaded tunes on MySpace.
Holy shit.
Um, I it was very associated with drinking. Everything about my songs were drink. There were songs called "Last Call for Alcohol," "Grain of Salt," totally very drinking related music. And on every Friday, I would create a game and give CDs away, and everybody had to have my song on their profile page. So I found a way to like
Brilliant.
no matter where you went on MySpace, you were hearing my tunes. So it was very popular at the time. And then sadly, these things pass away, don't they?
As they do, dude. As they do.
Yeah.
All the John Wayne is Dead songs are about girls and dying. So there you go.
It's a good niche, man. It works.
Okay, hey, that is what's going on my Patreon this week on the Awesome Dude for Life Boner Bonus podcast. Myself, horror writer Damon Manx. He's got a very awesome story. Please check him out. It's a great conversation, and check him out, like I said, on his own platforms, on his TikTok and at his website. His books are available. But if you want to hear the whole conversation, please go to patreon.com/johnwayneisdead, and you sure can, as well as the other 139 back episodes that you can listen to and watch. Good fun for everyone. So anyway, thank you guys for that, and I appreciate Damon taking some time for us. Moving right along into our next segment of the show, one where I like to talk about books that I've read recently and why I like them or don't like them sometimes. And it's a segment that we call What You Reading For?
What you reading for?
Anyway, what you reading for this week? It's a little bit different, only because it's going to be two books instead of one book, because these are part of a trilogy. The third book has not come out yet, but I wanted to include them both because I enjoy these books quite a bit, and they are the City by S.C. Mendez, which is the first one in the series, and then the next we have the what the fuck is this called? The Order of Eternal Sleep. Sorry, Mendez, SC, Mark, whatever. I'm showing them to the camera just so everybody knows. But anyway, so SC Mendez is an excellent author, editor, and writer. He also is he runs Bloodbound Books with Joe Spagnola, who's also been on the show before, on the Awesome Dude for Life show before. If you're part of the Patreon, hey, you can go back and listen to his episode. Lots of fun. Joe's a great guy. So I met Mark, aka SC Mendez, a few years ago, back on the scene. I've told stories about him and our shenanigans together at conventions on the show before. It's you probably know him. He's been on the Awesome Dude podcast a couple of times. And, we've talked a few times. He's a great guy. Bring him up. I really like his work. I've narrated a couple things for Bloodbound Books recently. But aside from being a great writer, helps to make your content very good, which is no exception here. So the premise of these books, The City, first of all, it's like a kind of like a hard-boiled noir-ish type of story, I guess. But that's the best way to describe it. And I sometimes, like, if that's not well done for me, like noir hard-boiled stuff, like, it falls flat, and I totally lose interest. Not in this case. Like, he does this very, very well, the way he sets it up. This takes place, like, it starts there in Chinatown in San Francisco in 1910. So this starts, like, it's in the early 1900s. And we follow at the beginning, we follow this, detective named Max Elliott. He's retired after, this awful thing has happened to his family. Pretty much has just, become like an opium addict, hanging out in the opium dens. And that's pretty much where we join him at the beginning of the story. But then, one of the other detectives and the chief, they come find him because we got to get you back on the case. We need you, Max. We got to have you. Because another, something similar to what happened to Max's family has now happened again to some other people. So they want to bring him in because he did so much work on the case already, and he's close, and, they need his help, basically. They need Max's help. So through his investigation, Max ends up finding this underground city called The City that's underneath, the city of San Francisco. But it's not just like the underground tunnel dwellers like we have here in Las Vegas, but it's like a whole city where there's casinos and clubs and strip clubs and restaurants, and people live down there. And it is run by these creatures called the Mara. And they have some pact with people. You come down there, you can engage in all this fucking sin and crazy shit that you want to do. They have everything you want, but it's a fucking dangerous place. There's certain places you don't go, but he ends up having to go down there. That's where this investigation leads him. He runs into a young woman named Ming that ends up becoming part of his crew, and hilarity ensues. No, but so he's down there, he's dealing with these creatures. They have this fucking weird magic shit that you eat that will heal you, but you got to get it and find it, and then he's working for them. It's a great mystery story. It ends, like Max is gone. We lose Max, and then we pick back up in the Order of Eternal Sleep. 3 years after that, after Max has gone missing at the end of this book. I'm just trying to give you guys the rub. I don't want to spoil any of the stuff, so that's why I'm kind of being a little dodgy about it. But anyway, 2 other detectives now, Detective McLeod and Detective O'Neill, are on the case. They have to pick up the reins, and they're trying to find Max. They're trying to find Max, bring him back. They stumble into the city. They are now dealing with the Mara and everything that goes along with that. And the Mara, they're not good. They're not good people. They're like gangster pimps on like steroids. They human traffic. They do sell people. They have a lot of prostitution. They run a fucking dirty ass business. But how all these people are involved in that and how this all shakes out is what makes this story so compelling. I'm very much excited for when the 3rd book comes out. I'm not sure when that is. I know that when I talked to Mark, aka S.E. Mendez, last, he did, because we talked about this series, he did say that it's just about done. It should be out soon. So I say, in preparation for that coming out, I would say, if you like, some detective noir shit, it's set back in the day, but it doesn't have like an old timey feel or anything like that. Don't let that dissuade you if you're like, I don't want to read something about the 1900s. It doesn't fucking matter. It's an awesome story. So I highly recommend you check out The City and the Order of Eternal Sleep from S.C. Mendez and Bloodbound Books, and catch up on them now. Read them now, so then when part 3 comes out, then you'll be all ready, and we can talk about it together. Can't we? Okay, anyway. So that's this week's edition of What You Reading For?
What you reading for?
All right, so now that moves us right along to our next segment, and I mentioned her earlier. She's been hanging out here on the side, just chomping at the bit to get in here and tell you all about the newest movie that she wants to share with you. That's right, everyone. Without further ado, here's another edition of Mom's Movie Corner. Oh, Mom! Thank you, John Wayne. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mom's Movie Corner. I'm so happy to see you all again. Thank you for tuning in. Now, as John Wayne mentioned earlier, he gave a little foreshadowing. That's the right word, right? Foreshadowing. He's a writer. So anyway, foreshadowing about what I was going to talk about today, and this is a little bit different from the movies that I usually have on Mom's Movie Corner, but I liked it so much I just had to talk about it and, break the trend sometimes. That's what we have to do. So, again, I was very fortunate to have my dear son, John Wayne, and his girlfriend, Scarlett, the lovely Scarlett, take me to the Beverly Theater. Oh, my goodness. It is very prestigious movie theater that apparently shows special engagements of different movies, older movies, 35 millimeter prints, all this kind of stuff. I don't even understand it all. John Wayne tried to explain it to me. But what I do understand is what we saw there last week. So fun. And that is today's movie for Mom's Movie Corner. And that is the movie Dig, D-I-G, exclamation point. And it came out in 2004 and is directed by Andy Timoner. And this is a documentary. Oh my goodness, documentaries. They hit or miss for me. Really. They're here or they're there. And then sometimes they don't spark my interest. And I don't know why. But this, oh my goodness, this really did. Because this follows. So it was released originally in 2004, but the several years leading up to that, the documentator Andy followed the Dandy Warhols, the band, the Dandy Warhols, and another band called the Brian Jonestown Massacre. And on their trajectory and the different paths they took, because let me tell you, one of them took a different path and did like, something, and the other one didn't really. But anyway, so the Dandy Warhols, it starts, they're friends with the Brian Jonestown's Massacre guys, and they're great, they're all buddies coming up together just like it should be. But that Brian Jonestown Massacre frontman, Anton is his name, and he is just eccentric. He's very excitable. He's got, like what I would say about my boys, a lot of energy. They got a lot of energy. And I would just put them outside and say, don't come back till the door is unlocked. That means then you could come back. Some say that's rough, but I say that's just tough parenting, and you got to get all the sillies out, get them outside. Anton could have used some times like that, getting those sillies out. But anyway, so we follow these two bands. The Dandy Warhols, they sign with a major label, Capitol Records. That's one of the biggest ones in Hollywood. They've got that circle, the pillar building. It's a landmark, if you will. But they're also very much known for being pretty hard asses, because they've got huge acts, and if you don't, follow through, or you don't meet it up, they act like they don't know you, and that's kind of what happens to our friends the Dandy Warhols. They have a hit, they have something else, and this band, the Dandy Warhols, is led by a man. His name is let me make sure I get this right now. It is Courtney Taylor. Courtney Taylor Taylor. That's not obnoxious at all, sweetheart. No. Anyway, Brian Jonestown Massacre, well, they don't have a major label to sign to. They sign to some indie labels, but due to the problems of the silly energy that Anton can't get out, they just keep getting sidetracked along the way. They can't get out of their own way, some would say, and they have a huge fist fight on stage at the Viper Room. That's not a spoiler. It happens towards the beginning, but incredible. I asked John Wayne, does the best really happen to bands? Because my son plays in a band, and he said yes, it does sometimes. And I said, has that happened to you? And I said no. He said no, but I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't tell me because he doesn't want me to worry. And maybe that's for the best. But I would worry about these boys if they were mine, because they were volatile. That was the word I was looking for earlier. So we follow along. This is a harrowing journey throughout the music industry and touring. It's all behind the scenes of them trying to get tours, getting stranded places, getting dumped by their label mid-tour, partying, not partying, getting just a tambourine and a haircut. It's just nonstop, but it's very informative if you like music documentaries, if you like to learn about bands, even if you don't like about them exactly, because I'll tell you what, I am not a fan of those Dandy Warhols. I didn't find anything dandy about them, not one single bit. The front man, he's very pretty. He's a very pretty man, but it's too much. It's a little too much for me. And I'm I could take a lot, but Courtney Taylor, it's a little too much. Anyway, it's to each his own. If you like the Dandies, great. That's what they call them in the movie, the Dandies. It's like short. But anyway, they're kind of, I don't know, not as hard rock and roll core. But then they get big in Europe, and then they go follow them to Europe because they're songs in a cell phone commercial, which is, of course, how you should get popular as a musician. And anyway, Brian Jonestown Massacre, they just keep tripping, even towards the present when they get to the present. I don't want to spoil anything. But this documentary is so good. Dig is a high recommend. I'll tell you what, especially after that Viper Room fight, hilarity ensues throughout the rest of the movie. And that's at the beginning, so you know that it is good. Please, I recommend you check this out. You could probably find it streaming because it is a little old. It's 20 years old, but we saw it in the theater. If they have it at showing anywhere near you, I highly suggest you go see the movie Dig, and you will enjoy it. So thank you again from Mom here at Mom's Movie Corner. And thank you, everyone. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Thank you, John Wayne. Okay, hey, thanks for that, Mom. Thanks for that was another edition of Mom's Movie Corner. That movie dig that we did go see, Scarlett and I with Mom, and it's very very good. If you're into music documentaries, like I am, like my mom is, and just seeing the way bands interact and being on the road and just it's the stuff I live for. So if you get a chance to see that movie, dig, like my mom recommended, I recommend it as well. So anyway, moving right along to our little talk time of the show. It's where we get real. No, it's not. It's where I sometimes I tell a story. The beginning and the impetus of this podcast was a storytelling podcast. I would tell stories from my life every week, and I did that for, I don't know, 250 episodes or so, or 200. I don't know when I started to try to change it up some I started reviewing, or kind of giving my recap of the cons I was going to, doing so many of them. It's like stories living in the moment of like, hey, this was happening. And so kind of keeping on that kind of vein is the way I'm doing it now. And I guess I can do whatever I want. It's my show and not yours. By the way, if you're not watching Katya and fucking what's her names, oh God, I'm losing my cred right now. Trixie and Katya. Oh God, thank you. Show that's very funny. You should watch it. I don't know. That's a free plug. Anyway, what I want to talk about this week is another very cool thing that I got to experience. Living in a place like Las Vegas, it of course has its ups and downs, but there's a lot of cool things that I get to, I don't know, experience, be a part of, that happen here that don't really happen in a lot of other places. So and there's far beyond like Cirque du Soleil is so cool. It is, and if that's what you like, cool. But I'm very grateful to be able to see and experience these kind of things. And among the top of the list, and one of the cooler things that I've seen was just this past week that Scarlett and I got to go to a place here called Recycle Propaganda. It's like a gallery, and see the Indecline art show, which is going on right now. Now, Indecline is you may know them from, you may have seen the logo, which is just like kind of like a outline of almost like a men's room man against black, but he's walking with a devil's tail and devil horns. Anyway, what Indecline is an art collective of activists, musicians, photographers, graffiti artists, artists of all mediums, and they're responsible. You may have probably seen like the huge Trump statue that they did naked out in the desert. That's one of the things they've done. Many billboards that they've taken over and done a lot. Check out the things that they've done. But if you're in Las Vegas, or if you get a chance to look and check out what they're doing with this exhibit, it's extremely important and very fucking cool. Like, so I got to there's a lot of cool pieces there that are going to be there for the whole run of this show. But the couple of the coolest ones I got to see was the Trump statue. They have a Trump statue there, and it's called "The Emperor Has No Balls," and he's naked, and the back is facing towards you as you're the viewer, and he's looking in a mirror in front of him, but his whole body is covered in tattoos. But at the tattoos, you go over and start looking at him, and across his ass it says like, Putin's butt boy or vagina or something. Like, it's all this, it's just all this stuff that's, Trump has done that is now tattooed upon his, body, just making him look like kind of like the Trump he is. So so that was awesome to see that statue like in real life. But then another one that really captured my imagination was a statue that was called On Second Thought. And I didn't find this out till later, but this was a tribute to the Route 91 shooting that happened here in Las Vegas several years ago. What it is, it's the thinker, the classic like thinker, and this thing is big. This is like as tall as I am probably, and I'm 5'9" if I'm a day. it's the classic thinker with his, hand on his fucking fist. He's thinking, but it's completely made of gun parts. Like some like full gun, like maybe full like handguns and stuff, but then there's stocks, there's barrels, there's chambers, triggers, all kinds of pieces and parts of guns that make up this statue. And it's very cool, very powerful. So it was awesome to experience that. But along with this, it's Indecline does a lot to raise awareness about things, issues, and things that we need to be paying attention to around us through their art. Also very cool outside, they had somebody cosplaying as a police officer who they had bound and gagged at the front of out in front of the gallery, and he's tied up, and people could paddle him and do all that kind of stuff, and his mouth was all taped up. So it's all they're making statements in it to raise awareness about these issues that we just need to think more about, especially these days. So I just wanted to use my platform, whatever I have, to talk about the Indecline art show and promote it and get out there. And of course, a big part of it is a good friend of ours, Mr. James Norman, one of the best poets I've ever met or read, and a performer to boot. He's amazing, prolific. He's the real fucking deal, and so is Indecline. So this is not some Johnny come lately bullshit that you're gonna trust fund bullshit baby dick horse crap that happens sometimes with art stuff like this. This is like the real fucking people doing like the real stuff. So I highly recommend going to this if you're in Las Vegas. And don't worry, it's not over, because it runs through there's a lot of programming that happens just about every weekend throughout the remainder of the run, because the run of the show ends the 31st of March, but the events run through March 8th, so you still have a few weeks of events. There's different presentations, there's artists speaking, and one of the events excuse me, is hosted by our very own Avant Pops, Schwa Letart, and it is called Dangerous Lit, and that one is March 1st at 7 p.m. So all these events start at like 7 or 8 p.m. pretty much on the weekends. So if you're in Las Vegas, please check out the Recycled Propaganda Gallery. Go see the Indecline exhibit. Even if you don't get to go on one of the nights where there's a performance happening, just go check out the art. Do some research on Indecline. Check out what they're doing, and support them. Support them. Support art like them, and that's something important. So. Hate to get all serious. Anyway, but yeah, so that was my week. It was a decent week, despite some road bumps here and there, but we're getting through. But I just am happy to be here again for another episode with all of you, and I thank you for joining me, for checking out the new video, for listening to the new episodes. I appreciate it so much. Don't forget, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/johnwayneisdead if you'd like to, support me in those ways, and check out the Awesome Dude for Life Boner bonus podcast. Or you could just go to johnwayneisdead.com, and Patreon link is there. But while you're there, you can see I've updated the shows page of the shows that I have so far coming up are on there. More are going to be added very soon. Don't worry. Plus, my shop is on there, so you can order books that will be signed, records that will be signed, t-shirts that I will kiss and smell and do whatever you want me to do with them. But all your John Wayne needs and desires are at the John Wayne is Dead shop there at johnwayneisdead.com. And like I said before, if all the videos that I've been doing are right there on the website for you to watch. It's all like one-stop shop for you, because that's the way I like it. So thank you once again, everybody. I appreciate it. Don't forget to follow me at John Wayne is Dead on all social media, and go to the John Wayne Lied to You YouTube page and subscribe and check out the videos. And don't forget, you can email me at johnwayneliedtoyou@gmail.com for any questions, comments, anything you want to say. So thank you all for another episode, and I will see you next time.
John Wayne lied to you. Wow.